Hello and welcome to another episode of Youngstown Click, Be Connected podcast. Guys, I have the winner of Youngstown Shark Tank here with us today in the studio, along with one of the sharks. So this is going to be such a great episode. I'm super excited. These are two local guys who are doing their thing, and you're going to recognize the name of the shark because everybody recognizes his name, his family name. And listen, everybody, I think all the sharks wanted what Bobby had presented to the sharks, right? I'm pretty sure like everybody I've told about it is like, oh, I want one of those. So guys, don't go anywhere. Before we get started, I introduce to you my guests. I want to mention that we are recording from Cigarro Cigar Lounge in Hubbard, Ohio. It's super great place. If you love cigars or know somebody who loves cigars, they have a house cigar that you can't get anywhere else other than the place they roll them in Miami, and you could get it right here in Hubbard, Ohio, as well as they have a non-members area and a members area. Super cool old converted house. So make sure you come check it out. And then we'd like to thank our sponsors, Ohio Flame. Ohio Flame makes custom-made fire pits made right in Columbiana. They are from steel. They're not going to fly away. We always say, you guys have heard me say it before, nothing brings community together quite like a bonfire. So make sure your bonfire is the one to be talked about. You could get etched with your favorite sports team or whatever kind of design you want. And again, it's supporting a local business. And then also we have a new sponsor for the podcast, Youngstown Click. It's the Gallagher Building in downtown Youngstown. They have converted this old building that had been sitting empty for so many years. And now it's apartments, but also Airbnbs. So when you guys come in town to visit or you have family coming into town, make sure you check that out. They're on Facebook at the Gallagher Building. Super reasonable and super cute designs. So they are one of our new sponsors. So thank you to the Gallagher Building in downtown Youngstown. Let's get started. All right. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. We'll start with the more experienced entrepreneur. You are a shark. I love it. Yes. All right. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Danny Catullo.
Oh, there it is. The Catullos.
Yep. Came from Catullo Prime Meats. It was a third-generation butcher shop. My grandfather, Danny, had started it, and my father, and then myself. Took the business and actually took it online when I came back home from Ohio State University and started shipping our steaks and sausages and burgers all around the country. Won a pretty cool award, small business grant and commercial with FedEx.
Wow.
Got on their entrepreneur advisory board. Then filmed a commercial with American Express. And I kept getting asked as I was going around the country and speaking about perishable shipping for FedEx, how did you do it?
Wow.
How did you get how did you pack the box? How did you sell your stuff online? What's the price point you needed to be at? And what I quickly learned through my travels was that the real business wasn't necessarily selling the meat online, but it was selling the service. And so I started a company with two other co-founders, and it was called Perishable Shipping Solutions.
Okay.
And basically what we did was take other food brands, and it could be something from ice cream to chocolates, anything that was perishable.
Wow.
And people would send us their goods, and we would help them with their strategy online, and then also shipping it directly out to the consumer.
Okay.
So that started in this really small storage unit by Sam's Club, really back of the butcher shop. It really was our small startup. I was sitting on boxes, packing other boxes, and it grew to 8 warehouses around the country.
Come on.
We were shipping for over 200 clients and some pretty large ones like Impossible Foods, Mr. Beast, the YouTube star, his chocolate brand Feastables. Yep, salt and straw ice cream.
Okay, all the young kids are going to love that, yes.
That was the only time my kids thought I was cool. Like they really got the business. Yeah. Wait a minute.
I remember my nephew saying, Mr. Beast has his own chocolate.
Yes.
And I was like, who's Mr. Beast?
Yeah, which I'll tell a really cool Willy Wonka, Mr. Beast story later on. But
I love it.
We ended up selling that company. So we got acquired about 1.5 years ago, and it was a little roll up in our industry. So it was fantastic news. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of days without making any money. So it was great to get acquired. Stayed on for about a year, watched my baby land and make sure everybody that had worked for me, there was about 1,000
Where's
people.
that based out of now? Like who bought
So
it?
we got bought by Lineage Logistics. They're about a $5 billion company that are based out of Michigan, but all around the country and the world.
Yeah.
Pretty large company.
But I love it. Started right here in Boardman, Ohio.
Yep.
Love it.
Right
love it.
here,
Your
and
grandpa would be so proud.
I hope so.
And he was a Daniel as well?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yep.
So go ahead.
And so now my next gig is actually a really cool job. It's definitely like a dream job. And I'm the vice president of e-commerce for Legal Seafoods and Smith Wolinski Restaurants. And basically, I'm a little startup in this like larger company with 28 Legal Seafoods. There's 12 Smith & Wolinski's, but they want to get their products also online and shipped directly to consumer.
Wow.
Nice.
So I'm basically running a startup again, but this time funded.
All right. Yeah.
Have a steady paycheck. Less stress. I mean,
That's great.
Now, where does
great.
that base you? Where does that put you?
So we're based out of Boston.
Okay.
And so right now, as I'm building my team and our little business sector, I've been flying back and forth to Boston. So I typically leave Monday mornings and then come back either Wednesday night or Thursday mornings.
Got it. Wow. Wow. That is such a journey. I mean, I was so disappointed when Catullo Meats closed because I used to come get the grass-fed beef.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw it close, I was like, what? But to hear the journey of what you've been through, I mean, and your name is still up there. It's still
you.
like, it's still up there. I mean, like you pass by it and you remember there's Catullo Meats, so you did. It's amazing to hear about what you've done since then, and it's so good to hear from you. And I want to come back to like when you were asked to be the shark. I mean, there's so many questions that have brought us here today. But first of all, I have to say thank you for taking the time, because like you just said, you're not here very often. So the fact that you came to talk to Youngstown Click is super exciting. So thank you for doing that.
My pleasure.
Which leads us to our now. If I'm not mistaken, you guys went to high school around the same time, both in Poland.
Yeah.
We have Bobby Hallis in the house, and I'm going to let him introduce who he is, what he's up to. But guys, he and his partners won the Shark Tank Award. So pay attention, because this is a business that you're going to be hearing about. And he's grew up right here in Poland, so I love it. Go ahead.
That's right. My name's Bobby Hallis. I grew up in Poland, Ohio. Went to high school with Danny Catullo. Definitely miss those prime meats. Goes perfect with
Right.
what we're creating today.
Oh, right. Okay.
Perfect.
The grill's best
B2B.
friend. I love
That's
when
all
you
right.
said that.
We
Okay.
could do it with the fish.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's
all good.
Right. Have it featured in, like, when the camera pans during commercials and you accidentally see Pepsi or Folgers or something like that. That's what you could do, those like subtle.
I don't want it to be subtle. I want you to know
Yeah.
that's
This
legal
is
seafood.
legal.
I don't want it subtle at all.
This is legal. Legal seafood.
Right.
I'm just glad Danny hasn't brought that Boston accent back. He hasn't said the word guy yet. All right, guy. It's wicked.
Oh, that's funny.
It's wicked good seafood, my guy.
And don't they make their ERs us? It's craziness. Okay,
Love
so tell
Boston.
us. Tell us who you are, and then I have
Sure.
questions about like how you got involved, etc.
Yeah. So again, Bobby Hallis, Poland, Ohio. I always loved art. It always drove me to want to create something, and I found a lot of my time was spent creating stuff for other people. So this is how the Backyard Banger kind of came to life. It solved my problem. I loved cooking outside. I loved cooking in general, but I didn't have access to my fridge, my sink, and my countertop space. And since I rent, right? Like I have a beautiful spot, right? I always want to be outside.
Okay.
And my only solution to this was like one of those permanent outdoor kitchens. They're super expensive. It comes with a grill. You got to dig up your yard. It's permanent.
Yeah.
And it's like I couldn't take that with me. So it's a blessing. I have a friend that I met in San Diego. We're actually working with other people, creating other people's dreams.
Okay.
And we sat down and we came up with the Backyard Banger. And it's your portable, affordable, and storable outdoor kitchen.
Oh, look at that!
island
Look at that marketing! Come on.
Wheels. All you need is an extension cord and a garden hose to make it work. Now all the cooking is done outside. Now I could stay outside.
That's so cool, because if you have spent any time cooking on the grill, you understand what it's like to go in the kitchen, prep the burgers or the whatever you're going to have, bring out a plate, then you forgot something, then you got to run back in and get the condiments or the seasonings, or somebody's stuck in the kitchen chopping and preparing and you're going back and forth, and God forbid you're in an apartment, you got to go up the stairs and down the stairs or etc. So when you took the stage and you began to like share this vision.
Oh, I was so nervous. But then I see Danny's like, what the?
I was just staring down.
Staring me down. I was like,
love it. Okay, so and you mentioned in your presentation the grill's best friend, which was so creative.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then what was it? The grill's side chick or side kick or something. Side piece.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So it's a grill's best friend. And it's a girl's best friend too. It's also a grill's side piece.
Yeah, there we go.
So however you want to spin that, it belongs
it.
right next to your grill.
Right.
Keeping everyone outside, keeping everyone happy.
Yeah.
And like for me, I'm really like hands-on person. You know, like sometimes just a spatula won't do it. Like I got to use my hands. Get that burger, smack it on the grill a little bit. You know, and now I got to wash my hands.
Out of the little mini fridge. So for those listening, describe what it looks like. I mean, they could go and find Backyard Banger on social medias and the website. I checked that out and stuff. I know it's there, but describe what it is.
All right, so it's your outdoor kitchen island on wheels, powered by a garden hose and an extension cord. What it offers is, imagine a box, right, with this beautiful countertop space. It's expandable, so you get 16 square feet of countertop space. Wow. You can play some of Danny's favorite games, and he was a master in high school at
okay, you referred to his favorite games. What's the favorite games?
Oh, it's definitely beer pong.
Beer.
Guy was a master at calling cups.
I feel like that skill doesn't go away.
I mean, if we played tomorrow, he'd still kill us.
All right, guys, and what you don't see is they're both sitting here drinking a Penguin City beer that Bobby brought, some Penguin City local beer that they're sitting here enjoying at the moment. So go ahead.
So, all right. So, all that countertop space, beautiful. You can play flip cup. So it's got a collapsible sink. So you can just expand that collapsible sink. It's got a soap dispenser. It's got this really it's got a really awesome cup wash. I don't know if we can swear on this, but you could be like Tom Cruise, and also too, instead of throwing all those cups away, like wash them out. Stop wasting plastic. Mm-hmm. So also, you need the mini fridge.
Yes, definitely.
And all that water easily drains into a 5-gallon bucket, or you can just run a permanent hose right through the grates at the bottom. Okay.
Oh.
And we've got you covered with 150 square feet of shade by a solar-powered triple apex umbrella. Gorgeous. Comes in 3 colors.
Wait, when you say solar-powered umbrella, what does it do? It lights up?
Yeah. Okay. You get that nice mood lighting at nighttime. Cool. Very intimate.
Yeah.
But again, you can just
also be able to see when you're cutting. Yeah.
True. And we got accessories.
So practical, Danny.
When you're
it's so
up.
practical.
Yeah. The thing I love about this too is it's like, all right, so, some of the first models, and we built a prototype out in San Diego. We started throwing all these parties. We realized one banger was not enough.
Oh, okay.
Right, because we had a really small space area in Pacific Beach, and we're like, all right, let's take this thing to the next level. Like what are all these features? What do we need to add?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this, and I think that's why the Sharks believed in it, because it is scalable.
Yeah.
We can have more, different models, more affordable models, same grade features.
Absolutely.
Like for me in Ohio, our base model called Banger Black, and comes with these caster wheels. But in my backyard too, I want to be able to wheel it down to my dock because I love the fish. So
okay.
I'm gonna put these off-road tires on it too. So
nice.
so we're gonna create this this community.
where people could customize.
Customize really cool lights. Everyone wants to customize something.
Yes.
Make it their own.
Cool,
really
spinny
cool
rims.
lights. Oh yeah.
I'm kidding. All the things that people put on their cars, like these. Yeah.
Keep spinning.
What is it? Hydraulics.
We got hydraulics. It's perfect for barbecues, street barbecues. Just run that hose from someone's house.
Yeah.
Just get it going. Oh, and again, I totally forgot. Yeah, definitely power. Comes with this really cool power tower. hit it with your hand.
I-
Pops up, plug in all your stuff, your blenders, your air fryers, your griddles, whatever kind of party you're trying to throw. Charge your phone.
Yeah.
And it's got a Bluetooth speaker
That's
on
what I
it.
was just going to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I
Yeah.
love that there's a fridge in there because, I mean, sometimes you have the cheese sitting out and then the flies try to come, or you have like, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to go back and forth. And so like to have a mini fridge
Yeah.
that you could just keep things in and grab it and pull it out. And I love it. I love it
Yeah.
so much. So,
And we're a fraction of the cost. That's the beautiful thing. You get on Amazon and it's wild. Like some of these just like little caddy carts, they're like $800. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then these like makeshift like grill / refrigerators that you gotta dig up your yard or run these gas water
yeah,
lines.
I remember
Well,
you said
I think
Go ahead.
yeah, just what enticed me, and now I want to get back also to the competition because it says a lot about what you were doing with the company too. The product's fantastic,
Okay.
but why we invested in, I want to go back to the why and that
Yes.
whole competition from the YBI because that was absolutely an amazing night. But what I really liked about it was there's a market for those that can't necessarily use their outside all year round. And so to put an investment of $25,000 to $40,000 into an outside kitchen
Yeah.
is a lot. So for me, I might only have so many weekends that we could be able to do it without other things going on. So you
Right.
don't want to make that huge investment.
That's good,
So there's a
yeah.
middle market. And so their price was in not necessarily like everyone could buy it, but
Mm-hmm.
it was something where it was like, okay, I want to upscale my backyard, but I don't want to have to take out another mortgage to go do it.
Right,
And
right,
so
right.
it really like allowed you to be able to do it. It was like it's an underserved market, is that middle market for those that are in the upper, middle class that don't have ways to be able to make their backyard better.
Right. I love that. And such a great point. Getting back to the Shark Tank, Youngstown's Shark Tank. So this was the fourth one. So Danny, how did you feel when they asked you to be a shark? I mean, and what did that,
and
go
this
ahead.
is really Youngstown Business Incubator. 'Cause, Barb Ewing from the YBI, the CEO, it's the YBI that puts it on. Amazing event. I was at the first one actually just as a guest.
Okay.
And there was about 150 people there. And then on this one, we completely sold out Mr. Anthony's. So there was 750
That's
paid tickets, let
incredible,
alone
a win.
everyone else that was there, the judges and all the different vendors that we had.
Yeah.
So there's about 1,000 people there. Pretty amazing event to be able to be held in, a place like Youngstown. It speaks to not only what the YBI has done,
Yes.
especially a legacy started really by Jim Costler and then brought to another level, respectively from Barb Ewing
Yeah.
and her team has really just made the event something really special and connected with those in the community
Yeah.
that either A, are entrepreneurs, B, are investors. So there was banks, there was individual private equity that was there, financial advisors that were there, and then 3, just the crowd that wanted to see like the show.
Yes,
and,
yes,
and
yes.
be part of what what is the new Youngstown. And luckily I got asked to be a judge, which I enthusiastically immediately said yes, and was just excited to see what the ideas were from someone that's been around from the event from top to bottom. What really stuck out this year was the quality, the consistent quality of all the different applicants.
Yeah.
Including the ones that we had picked to be on the show. And then the fact that they were all local. And so the only one that was technically not local is a gentleman, an entrepreneur that's living in Israel. And he's moving his business to Youngstown.
Come
so
on.
it's like
That's right, yeah.
like everyone was local, everyone was from this area,
Man,
and that
oh,
was
man.
like just how cool that we have all these things going on
And people
here.
want to come here.
Yeah.
That is the yes.
Youngstown.
Great time, yeah. Okay, 100% with the YBI. I cannot. In fact, I talked to Barb about possibly coming on because every time that I come in contact with the YBI and what they've done over the years, I'm just so impressed with. Taking a tour of some of the manufacturing that's been going on there, incredible. I mean, stuff for like that. They were like, okay, this is like top secret and stuff, but it's happening in Youngstown because somebody had this vision for the incubator, which I love. And then that silverware company that moved its headquarters to Youngstown, into the one of the YBI buildings and stuff. It is incredible, and like you said, the new Youngstown. That's very interesting because it's kind of how it feels a lot. You know.
Yeah, that's Steel Light Building, which John Miles, also a local. John Miles moved his headquarters here, so he has a headquarters here.
Oh, so the owner of that is local?
Yeah. Yeah,
I did
local.
not know that.
And it's interesting because at Legal Seafoods and Smith Walensky, we use Steel Light, so we're one of their largest customers.
Come on! I love it.
I didn't have to sell them on it. I pretended that I did, but I didn't have to sell it.
You got the credit for that. So okay, so as a shark, then walk us through a little bit of that process, how they whittled it down to the 5 that presented.
Yeah, so the YBI, had to comb through hundreds of different applicants, and what they were looking for was to give us a good mix of those that were maybe already had gone through a Series A funding, and that those that were looking for their sort of first investment.
Okay.
And what they were really looking for were inspirational ideas and leaders. And they gave us this, this great little book of businesses that we got to pick from. And then us as entrepreneurs, we all had our own little things that we were looking for. But then, ultimately, when we went, and hear all the presentations, the way that we viewed, because we had this grant that we were able to then give away. So we were stewards of this grant. And so we looked at that as a pretty, big responsibility. But if it was our own money, what would we have done? And so going back to, to Bobby's and his team's product, fantastic product, yes. But what we really enjoyed, and it's really difficult to do, is they were able to clearly explain what they were going to do with the money. And so for us,
we'll throw a big party.
We saw a path.
Yeah.
We saw a path
That's
of where they could be able to
interesting.
use the money to grow. And it's difficult to do, and you only get like this really quick time, and it's already nerve-wracking to be up on stage, and you have to be able to get your whole pitch all the way out, and then you have to say, this is how much we're looking for, and this is why. But for us, as Sharks, we saw a clear path that not only could they use the money, but everyone can use money.
Of course.
But they had a path to be able to use it to grow.
Wow.
And so we really saw, and for me especially, that crawl, walk, run, sprint, get in the car, then you get the airplane. You can't it doesn't just happen right away. It's like you have to be able to take those steps, and you have to grind your way through for growth. And we saw that, and that's why ultimately we picked them to win.
Wow. How much does a presentation, like if somebody has a good plan, but their presentation is like a little like an and awe and a little bit disconnected, does that factor in, or do people generally look through that to see the bigger?
I can speak to our event, and we did research ahead of time. And so I've had experience with ABC Shark Tank because for my business, I had 10 of my clients go on Shark Tank.
Really?
And then we shipped their food. So I got to experience this in a different way because I knew like,
I did my history too.
That is so cool. Wow.
So I knew like Mush,
Yeah.
Overnight Oats, one of our clients, I knew they were getting their deal.
Okay.
I knew that Supergirl was not going to get her deal. So we knew in advance like what they were going to do. But like we had learned from those sharks, they had done so much research on the companies ahead of time. So they're prepared to make it such a more impactful presentation because we don't want to be asking basic questions during those. So we spent a couple hours ahead of time as sharks together, just researching the companies, talking about the companies, going through some basic questions. And YBI was presenting those companies to us. So they were basically acting on behalf of them to give us that information. So we were a little quick with information. And then it's kind of fun to put them on the spot and ask them some hard questions.
You guys did definitely ask some really good questions. There was a couple at the table that I would say, oh, they need to ask this. They need to ask this, because there were questions that I had. And then almost every time, one of the sharks asked the questions. And so the people at my table were like, oh, he asked, like they'd look at me like, oh, it was just fascinating to watch. I really enjoyed being there and watching the and I wondered how they actually came up with those 5, because it was a great gamut.
We had an eclectic group of entrepreneurs too that were sharks. We had Ellie, we had Marty, we had Herb, Rob, and it just
Very diverse.
Yeah, it was very diverse.
diverse.
And Tom. So we had like this like diverse group of businesses. We had all had different experiences,
Yeah.
and but we all came from that that creative and hardworking mindset.
Built up, you
is
guys.
what's going to grow. And at the end, yes, we're investing in the product, but we're really investing in people. And so we wanted to hear from those people that passion, that willingness to work hard. And we got that, we got that in spades from every company,
All of them,
to be honest with you. It was just backyard. We felt like they had the best pitch. And we felt very comfortable. They knew where the money was going to go to be able to grow.
I love it. All right. And then we're coming to you, but I'm going to come back to you, Danny, in a minute and ask, what was your lowest, like if you've had a lowest moment in your entrepreneur journey where you felt like you wanted to give up, or kind of like your low in to get to where you are at this moment. But before we ask that, Bobby, how did you get to San Diego from Poland? Like, what was your journey to get to this moment where it looks like now this idea is about to hit, the next level anyway? And so tell us how you got to where you're at right now.
But first. All right. So, it all started with, I was online, like doing some freelance work, and I met this dude who just worked for this company, and he mentored other entrepreneurs. I found out he was an entrepreneur himself, and I'm gonna give a shout out to him right now. And our creator, CEO, Ty Allo, he's a military vet, runs the company. Wow. Like that, very structured.
Is that the guy that was with you?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, and that's what I love that we brought a duality to our pitch too, because like up front we like structured it like, this is fun. Let's get everyone's attention. Let's show them the benefits. Let's show them the why. Show them the problems. Take them through these financials, because it's serious. It's a serious part. It's a serious business.
Which is interesting that was a big seller. So yeah, really, really interesting. Okay, go ahead.
So I ended up flying out there just to see what they were doing, and kind of got my hands on a bunch of other people's businesses. So my specialty again, is creative direction, brand identity, like just basically like these entrepreneurs have nothing, they just have an idea. So we just take that idea, we curate it. I focus on the brand, positioning, brand strategy, maybe how to approach your social media. How much to maybe spend on ad spend? It's too late, too early. Is this a crowdfunding campaign? And that's where we started with the banger, was on Indiegogo, and
no way.
And in only 30 days, I say raised, but honestly, no one owns any equity in our company.
Okay.
They were pre-sales.
Yep.
So $104,000 in pre-sales on Indiegogo in 30 days. We've recently delivered those first 60 units. We've also sold another 40 to 60 through different home shows in California.
Okay.
Arizona, which is a huge market for us. Then I immediately was just like, this has to be in Youngstown. It's it's a gritty. We're surrounded by a lot of lakes. It's a great hub spot area. Look, we are 50-50 between New York and Chicago. We're 50-50 between Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Right.
I mean, we're right there.
Come on.
Right
I
on
say
Lake
this
Erie.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I keep going back to these docks, because like that's where it's at too. My dad, and this is years ago too. This also inspired me. Like all this stuff like comes into the creation of this. It was just out of just necessity, because docks all have shore power. Okay. Oh. They all have fresh water, right? But there's no spot to just pop something up, close it down real quick.
Right.
Because our store's small. Comes with the cover.
Yeah. Oh, does it come with the cover?
Oh, yeah, it comes with the cover.
Love it.
It just solved that major problem. So like that's why I'm just so passionate about it. Like getting it here. Like everyone needs a banger around.
Everyone needs a backyard banger. All right. So real quick, what's the plan for the Youngstown? Because you already have you're creating them, but it's on the West Coast, right? So what's the plan for? Do you want what's the thought? I guess for
I got so many ideas. That's the crazy thing. It's like the possibilities of this are like never ending. Like I already stopped into Baird Brothers. beautiful wood, like
beautiful.
like what if we had like a live edge version, beautiful butcher block countertops, all locally sourced, Amish made,
Right.
maybe we find a local manufacturing company that can do maybe all of the spot welding or something, just bringing it here and just being relevant around here in the space.
Yeah.
And like that. I feel
And like you said, the location here
Yeah.
is so great. It's so beneficial.
It's a hub spot here, and it's like, so,
So you both have traveled quite a bit then, right? What makes Youngstown, like when you think of Youngstown and you think of home, like does what in what way does Youngstown stand out? Like I've traveled quite a bit as well, right?
yeah.
And when I came home, there was that and I didn't even realize until I came home that I was like, Youngstown,
yeah,
right?
you take that deep breath.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes when you're here, you
right.
just like think you need to leave, but when you come back, you appreciate the change of the seasons.
Yes,
you
right.
appreciate the trees. You appreciate
So
the space.
what are the couple? Yeah, what are the things that you really kind of like find endearing about Youngstown?
Well, for me, it was two things. One, like Bobby said, I think that we're a great place for logistics. Being able to get to New York and Chicago within 6 hours is why this community became a steel community. And, for me in e-commerce, and I made it a logistics hub to be able to ship perishable food, being able to ship to those major markets quickly was a strategic advantage.
Yeah.
So that was definitely one. And then two would be the people. We
Come
have
on.
some like I had an engineering intern program that I started at the butcher shop and that I continued over with Perishable Shipping Solutions. And I have two engineers still with me now that are helping support me in my new venture that are based out of here in Youngstown. We just have smart people here that are willing to roll up their sleeves and work hard.
Wow.
And, it is a lot different for our generation than it is for my parents' generation or even like my grandparents is that, we didn't go through what they went through with the steel mills closing.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a story. It wasn't like I never saw the great of it. I just know the bad.
Yes.
So for me, it's like, it's already over. Let's move on. Like,
right. There's no mourning process.
there's-
The generations before us had to mourn that loss.
Yeah.
I've thought about that often.
Yeah, and we we don't. But we have seen so many of our friends leave and then boomerang and come back. And I think that's actually great because what we got was experience, whether it be at other colleges or other cities, and then be able to bring those things back and say, okay, well, we want them. We just want them here. And so, to me, those are the two sort of things that stick out to me is the logistical advantage. And then also, the firepower that we have here in people.
I love it. I love it. All right. And then Bobby said to change the seasons.
Oh, so change the seasons. You get to like appreciate that, just the grass. I spent some time in Arizona and just, it gets so hot during the summer. It's like that fake grass too. It just kind of really got to me. And it's just flat and just like, I mean, it's special. Like every place is special, but in my heart, I mean, Youngstown always has a special place.
One
in
of
my
the
heart.
one of the things that I loved coming back. I lived in New York City, and I'd come back and free parking was like, oh, this is so beautiful. You can just park and go in. You don't have to worry about like moving your car every other day for street cleaning.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many different things that, coming home. And I will never forget, anyway, just certain things that I would see that I was like, oh, that's Boardman or that's, Youngstown. So definitely. Okay. So let's talk about the entrepreneur journey because Bobby, you kind of have yours ahead of you as you guys grow and stuff. And as optimistic and as great as this moment is, right? We know that any journey, there's ups and downs. Anybody who like looks back, they say, these are my great moments and these were my challenging moments. So Danny, what would you say has been some of your most challenging moments? And I guess any kind of advice that you would give to people like Bobby that are kind of in a way like at the beginning of this entrepreneur journey?
Yeah, I can think of like two distinct moments in my life where it's, those make or break yous. And one with the butcher shop, I'd come home and started the online ordering and saw like just this wave of growth. And it was really as much business during the holidays as we could take on. And I wanted to grow. I wanted to be big. I wanted to be bigger. I wanted to be better. And so I was taking on all this extra business. We were doing online ordering, and I was working early in the morning till late at night. And it might have been the day came in probably 5:30 in the morning. It was getting close to 11 o'clock, and we were shutting down. And I'll never forget looking at this clipboard and being like, "Why is this clipboard of orders here?" And I looked, and it was more orders to do, and like it just got lost in the shuffle. Oh! And I'll never forget having to put back on my apron. Like it was so hard, and like you're just done for the day. Like the work boots are coming off, and like mentally you're done. It's like when you wash the dishes and you look over, and like the worst pan is left. And I went back and I had to go outside of the butcher shop, like in the trailer. I'm like carrying a steak knife with me. I'm like, God forbid I get robbed as I'm going to get more turkeys. I put on Adele, and I was just like, if anyone's going to cry with me, it's going to be Adele. She'll get me through this. And I made
that is great.
And I made these turduckens and turkey rolls, and I mean, I just remember feeling exhausted and like pushing through. And it's like, it's one of those moments where like, if I didn't do it, would we have got through the next day? We would have got through it. People would have been pissed, or they would have left, or we wouldn't have done the business. But that was the reason why we got to the next year and to the next year and to the next year, because we handled that growth and those growing pains. And then the other one was, we had a vendor that owed us money and never paid us. So we were basically, shipping for entrepreneurs, especially at the beginning. People were taking a little bit of risk on us, and we were taking a risk on the companies that we were shipping for. And they owed us a substantial amount of money, almost $100,000. And they stepped us, and we didn't have the money. So where's it going to come from? And we had people that were working for us and everything too.
Yeah.
And so we were running credit cards to then get the cash to then pay everybody.
Right.
I mean, it was just like, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And like those like really tough pivotal moments. I mean, I remember just doing things that a sane person would never have done. Like if you would have asked your accountant, or if you would have asked like, your partner or your friend or your wife or your husband, like, should I do this? They would say, no, that's a stupid idea. And to me, that also is like a defining moment of an entrepreneur. You have to put blinders on and just go for it. And it can be difficult, but there are people around you in your life that are your safety net. You don't necessarily know how much that is until you have to use them, but you have to be able to trust that you have a safety net, put the blinders on and go. And that could be really difficult because you're asked to make smart analytical decisions. And then I'm telling you, sometimes you have to be stupid and just not listen to anyone and run the credit card at 30% interest and go get the cash, go get the sale, and keep the business going an extra day. And I'm talking like barely getting through, limping along through those days of perishable shipping solutions to be able to get to a wonderful exit.
I love it. Where's the clapper?
I know, right? I think it's the
not
orange
that
one. Try the orange one. Wait, that's the wrong one. Try the orange one.
Crickets,
no, not crickets. No, the one underneath.
I'm sorry, I'm pressing them all.
There
it is.
The last possible.
Man, take me off that soundboard.
No, you're great. You're great. You're hired.
That's awesome.
Man, that is so inspirational.
Yeah, it's scary. It is.
It is.
It is scary.
So scary. And it's something that when you see success, you don't see that side of things. You don't see the struggles. You don't see the late nights. You just see, this name, or, this business, or, that's so-and-so, successful businessman. But it's good to be reminded, especially here in America, where anybody could have an idea and anybody could go for it. And with the resources we have resources here in town now that are unlike anything that I ever thought would be possible with the YBI, with Valley Partners, with all these different organizations that are literally saying, hey, let's help you. You know, if I would have had some of these resources 10 years ago, my whole career would look different because I did a lot of creative work, a lot of photography and stuff. And I figured it all out mostly on my own, which is a long process and full of mistakes. But I mean, it gives you confidence along the way, but it's definitely, I mean, to have somebody to take your hand or to give you advice is huge.
I had two startups at the YBI, and this is when Jim Coster was there. And he gave me the great words of advice are, it's so easy for someone to say your idea is good and walk away. But it's real. If someone says your idea, something's wrong with it, and they're willing to invest their time to tell you why, listen. You don't know. Like, yes, maybe you do have a reason. Maybe there is a reason why you didn't add this yet, or yes, you were thinking about it, but you haven't done it yet. But just like being able to listen, is such strong words that Jim gave me. And what I tried to do is, what I see Bobby doing now is just asking people for advice or questions, and taking that feedback, writing it down, listening, because if pretty soon you're going to get enough feedback that is going to help you sort of make your pivot to the right decision.
That's so good.
And like with like entrepreneurship too, it's just like having a purpose, like being a purpose-driven entrepreneur, being able to take a product and it being your baby and you stepping back and being like, look, this thing's never going to be perfect. It's more important that this thing gets out to the world. We get all of this constructive criticism, bad criticism. It doesn't matter. It's feedback. You digest that. You don't take offense to it. And you have to curate that. I mean, I got to take that and just constantly. I mean, you have the owner here, and he's up late at nights making sure that turducken's perfect. Because you are only as good as your next product, your next delivery, your next turducken.
Right. Everything leads from the top too.
Yeah.
He's not asking his employee to do that without him
He's
actually.
doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So how excited. Okay. So this is, like Danny said, tons of applicants for this Shark Tank. So
How many was there, Danny?
I mean,
1,000.
There's just like
million.
There's just too many papers for me to count.
okay.
I was like,
So
wake
there
me up
were
when we get to the top 20.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. All right. So on a side note, did your clients say how nerve-wracking it was to be on the Shark Tank? Like, how did they describe that experience, like to be on the national or the ABC?
It's going through their process, which is so interesting. So you're basically just in this huge waiting game to know if you're going to get selected. Then you do. Then you go through this like very long process, and then you get filmed, and then you might not go on. Like they still might not have you on an episode.
Oh man!
So like we knew they filmed, we knew they either got a deal or not, but we don't know if they're going to go on national TV. So there's some that just never do.
Wait a minute. So there's some who actually get a deal that never get on TV.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I want to say probably 90% of the deals happen behind closed doors.
Yes.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I watch the show all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, dude, that's crazy. Okay, so you guys applied. Like, when did you apply first for the Youngstown Shark Tank?
Well, like, after we made it through that first hurdle of our Indiegogo customers and like in between it doing like home shows and stuff like that, just getting the exposure out there. I seen a post on Facebook. I said, like this is relevant. Like I gotta apply for this. Like I want this here, and like this money is gonna help not only with A&B testing for marketing. I mean, right now we just have to wait till 2024, but being able to get units here from Long Beach, that's the most expensive feat. From Long Beach to here. So like logistically, and again, I'm looking for mentorship, I'm looking for more, meet more people in this field, because like, this is exciting, like I wake up now every day, like excited about this product. Like it's challenging and it's just super cool. Like we're not selling something boring. We're selling like family get-togethers. So people coming together in the backyard, enjoying each other,
exciting gifts too. Like I know people who it is impossible to find gifts for. They pretty much have what they need. But something new and kind of exciting like this is something that you know that they don't have and that nobody's bought them.
World's
They could buy
first.
right. So just even in my mind, not that I have that much, extra money laying around in my bank account, but even just thinking, oh, that would be a great gift for so and so and so and so, because it is novel, but it's so functional that it would be like the greatest gift for dad ever.
For your mom or dad, and you
Yeah.
get the kids all get together, for the gift, because it's like you're over there so many times a year, and there's never enough space because they're by themselves after. Once you guys get out of there.
Right. So, how does that work then? I know that we took a picture with you with the check. Does the money just drop into your bank account, or is it like kind of managed along the way? How does that work?
After a few drinks, after I walked to the bank with the big check. I walked in there and was like, "You guys got to cash this right now."
Yeah.
No.
Like Happy Gilmore.
But is there hurdles after the win? Is I guess what I'm saying.
No,
There's
man,
obviously.
I tell you what, just shout out to YB. I mean, everything has just been so nice. Special shout out to Chandler, like helping us through this process, helping me.
Nice. So you have a little
putting
mentorship
together
through that.
this, even putting together this pitch deck and just formulating like what's relevant and like how are we going to deliver? Okay, we got to be under 3 minutes. I'm up like practicing this thing, and then, so like a lot goes on, and so like post everything has been so smooth.
Okay.
Like they're there for us.
That's awesome.
And like we just gotta ride
Yeah,
this
and
wave.
I'll speak from experience, because I had a startup, Foodie Crave, first before Perishable Shipping Solutions, that was inside the YBI, and then PSS was basically created a little bit inside the YBI and then outside of it, but like they're there for you no matter what. Like whether
That's
you're a YBI company or not, like Barb, Chandler, like the team, Colleen, the team will get you the answer. Luke will get you the answer. So if it's not them, they know a partner.
That's
and they
incredible.
just want to see successful people around here. And I think that's why we've seen the success from the YBI and this tremendous growth, because you get what you put out, and they put out that to everyone in the community. And I would say, like, anytime I needed anything, I could be able to reach out to them and they help me out.
Wow. And I love that, because a lot of people say success is always the result of mentorship, of somebody showing you the way, of somebody. So that's what, there's so many people who, it's easy to have a plan, and then you have all this money and you're like, oh, because you've never been down that road before. You've never I've never had somebody just dump $30,000 into my bank account and then I have to decide. So that's, I guess, what I was asking. And I love then that they offer that mentorship and that kind of like constant hand through it and through that process of helping you.
And I think that's the responsibility too of the business owner. I'm sure like it doesn't stop anyone from taking the money and going to do whatever they want.
Right.
But it's my due diligence. It's my responsibility.
Right. They
to show
trust
growth.
you.
Like I want to show up next year at the 5th annual Shark Tank. I'm bringing a backyard banger. I'm delivering on my promise where I invited everyone to my backyard. And I want people to see it. I want people to see the growth. I want people to see V1, V2, V3, show them everything,
I read an article and they were actually talking about some of the former winners and how even the people who've presented that have gone on to get other funding and stuff like that. So it's really cool that sometimes we don't see the follow through. We see just, the event, but the follow through of really, like you said, the results of the YBI. Like I didn't know that you were part of that. And then let's talk about Hannah for a minute. This was kind of cool. So for those listening, Hannah, there was a judged winner, which was Bobby and his team. But then there was a People's Choice winner, and they were able to vote on somebody to win $10,000. And when Hannah from Dope Cider House won, the judges actually from their own pocket matched that $10,000. So she ended up getting $20,000, which was huge. And I'm sure it surprised her like crazy. So let's talk about her for a second. She has that Dope Cider House, started it from scratch and has really built it up and built a name. What did you guys see in her that you were like, hey, we will match this? I mean, because I don't know that that's ever been done by the Sharks.
The biggest thing that I saw personally, and we all got together, and Herb and I were talking about, again, going back to why Backyard One is, we felt very comfortable giving them the $30,000, where Hannah still needed some direction on how to build out that business plan.
Okay.
But what we really loved about her was her passion, her creativity, her ability to work hard, and she surrounded herself with people that she didn't have the skills of. So she knew it was going to be difficult for her to do B2B business sales. So this is not, just not in her wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So she brings on her brother. She needs someone to be able to help with the financials and be able to tell her, like, hey, this is a bad idea. Make sure you pay your taxes.
Yeah.
She brings on one of her friends that has that background. You have to surround yourself with people that have skill sets that are not like you, that are not just yes people telling you have a great idea. They have to be able to tell you no sometimes.
Got it.
And I really enjoyed that again, just her.
Yeah.
And so I felt like I wanted to
She's
I wanted
so
to invest
genuine,
in her.
yeah.
And so, what we did, I thought was pretty cool was we not only, invested some of our own money, but what we did was we invested our time with her. So our stipulation for her to get her money was that, we wanted to meet with her. And so we want to help her through those next steps, how to build a business plan, how to be able to connect with different relationships, inside of the food and beverage market, which, where I came from. So it was really special. It's so fun to be able to make someone's day. It is the coolest. Yeah, that's definitely it's the coolest experience ever.
But just to set them up for the future. Just to, give them that.
And then there's another
T-ball.
So in your commercial, we got his seafood and the cider. Bam! It'll be like a tribe, but it'll be like a threefold punch there.
And that's what I love. Like now that I'm this is definitely a huge win for us. But now it puts me in the position now to become more a part of this community. Now I can talk to the cider house here at Dope.
She's making history
B2B
in the
stuff there. Do a special event. It's just a beautiful thing. Summer 2024.
I love it. And back to you, Danny, the people with Youngstown. But now because of you, we have a connection into this great thing that I really think is going to take off.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I mean, I'm not a shark or anything.
So it's, my two partners came from the New York area, and we were raising capital, and we were looking for our first investor. And, the way we thought it was going to work was I'm running the operation in Youngstown. Right? Okay. They're in New York. They're traveling back and forth to Youngstown. They're driving back and forth to Youngstown.
Yeah.
One does sales. The other one's doing finance. Helping me while I'm running the idea. I'm doing the creative vision.
Okay.
And running it day to day. And when we went to go look for an investment, they had both done startups before and got invested. So we assumed that they were going to be the ones that found our first investor. But our first investor was actually Eric Spiegel, who was from Poland. He became the CEO on the American side, the USA side of Siemens. And he he basically he came from Booz Allen, big consultant. And the first investor was when I went to New York City for a fancy food show. Somebody from Youngstown, Eric Planey, who used to work at the Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber, had moved to New York to go work at a bank there. And he texted me, he goes, "Hey, I just ordered some sausages from Catullo's. You should hand deliver them. Ha ha ha." And I said, "Actually, I'm in New York. I have a completely different idea." And he's like, "Well, come meet me, stay an extra night." And this is when our credit cards were declining. I'm like, "Oh my God," trying to find the cheapest hotel. I stay in the really shitty Penn, Ohio, the Pennsylvania hotel, the old hotel. You know what I'm talking about? You don't even want to. You don't even want to know, Bobby. You never would want to stay here. Stayed at this hotel. Stayed and went to an event with him at Central Park and pitched my idea to him. He helped me pitch my idea to other people that he knew, and then he had asked Eric, who's on YSU's board. He was in the Go See Trestle. To come see the idea. And so Eric came to go watch our idea. He at first was doing it as a favor, in there with penny loafers on. And then you're like, oh, this is something for real. And he invested a fair amount of his own money into our business, was our first investor, was a big reason why we were able to raise our $6.7 million was because Eric believed in our business first. And, just like you were talking about, Bobby, is where you want to get to in 2024 is, prove everybody right, not proving people wrong, but proving everybody right. I will say the proudest moment wasn't the check that I'm going to get in the future for selling the business. It was making Eric his money. He believed in me. And I was able to not only get him his money back, but get him that return on investment. He believed in me. And that was like, it was the coolest thing in the world to be able to call someone up and say, we did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah. I love it.
I don't even know what to say
Exciting.
after that.
I know. I mean, oh, wait, no, not that one. It's this one. It's this one.
Crickets? Yeah, crickets. Yeah,
It's beautiful.
That's totally. I know that was just.
Just get me off
Man.
the soundboard. I don't even know what's going on with this thing.
I thought you were going for applause, and then I'm like,
I get them so confused.
Either way, we're clapping in our inside.
Yeah.
Wow, that's. I'm very rarely speechless, but I think I kind of.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, mumbling right now. Okay, so we are nearing the end of this podcast, which is crazy because this hour has gone so fast. But the one thing I like to ask every podcast guest is something basic. It's not a hard question, but sometimes it could put you on the spot. Is for you, Bobby, when you came back to Youngstown, and for you, Danny, when you come back to Youngstown, what are your favorite, what are the places that you're like, oh, I got to go to here?
Scarcella's.
Wait, so I'm going to give you.
Who also used Catullo Prime Meats. Shout out Sean Kuzma.
Look at that. Look, that wasn't even Danny that said that. That was Bobby. Okay, so each of you guys, 3 of your favorite local places that you look forward to coming to and that you would take a friend if they came in from out of town, or you're like, hey, this little local gem that I just feel like the whole area should know about. All right.
Well, I actually have I'll start.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Because I had my partner come in. And again, I never actually really left Youngstown. I lived in Pittsburgh for a few years.
Okay.
And I just got to travel a lot.
Yeah.
Because I worked for an ad agency. But
okay.
But yeah, so those places. So I was racking my brain about that. Like, all right, my partner's coming in. Like, yeah, he's from Colorado. He's got some awesome things, awesome places. He lives in San Diego now. Like, what could I possibly show him? And we showed him Mill Creek Park.
Oh.
And I tell you what, he fell in love.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, this is beautiful. I mean, I love that park. It's so.
Me too. I'm not surprised, but it's cool that it's cool when other people
so
see
cool.
them. Yeah,
so cool. Number 2, Scarcella's, but we didn't get to take him to there, so I took him to Rulli Brothers.
Did you?
I got all the ingredients. I made him homemade fettuccine, homemade pasta sauce.
Wait, are you Italian?
Yeah. Yes, I'm about to fit. I'm not as cool as Catullo.
Nobody is cool as
all of my friends are all Italian. Every single last name ends in a vowel. Mine doesn't. But they gave me a really cool nickname. It's Bobby Lupo.
Yep. Oh, that's great.
That's how we gave him a vowel.
Sound very good.
That's how they gave me the vowel.
That is wonderful.
But yeah, you like number 2, second best thing. I cooked for him. Ooh, and we had a beautiful time. I made him roll out his own pasta.
What?
And he had 2 types. He had the fettuccine and he had the angel hair.
What? Yeah. Rolled up?
I made him do it.
From Youngstown, himself. I never even did that.
Got it together, rolled it out, cooked there. Man, number 3, I tell you what, it's really tough.
Yeah, you kind of added Rulli Brothers as a
Rulli
bonus.
Brothers kind of
we'll say,
like a bonus.
We'll say Bobby's Backyard and / Rulli Brothers.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
No, okay, but you still wait. Okay, so Mill Creek, Scarcella's,
Rulli Brothers.
There's got to be another one in there. That was an accidental bonus.
One more. I mean, I just took them to Lake Milton, just around some of the lakes.
You know what's interesting? If I
Berlin.
If I could just add this real quick, there was an event at the mall and they had these high tables. So they had all these restaurants offering free food, and it was just like an appreciation day and stuff. So you go get your free food, and then they had these community tables with no chairs. You just kind of stood up at. So I'm sitting there eating, enjoying my free Chick-fil-A and El Cowboy, I think, or Los Gallos. Anyway, this guy comes and says, hey, can I share the table? I was like, yeah, of course. So we start talking. Well, one of the first things I say is, oh, so what do you do? Because that's a connection point. Like you either have a connection to that or there's so much in that. And he looks at me and goes, that's such an East Coast thing. You guys always want to know what people do. And I was like, whoa, dude, back off. I was like, whoa, hold on, calm down. Whatever. But then he proceeds to say, he says, I'm from the West Coast. And he said, on the West Coast, everybody asks, hey, what do you got going on this weekend? Or, hey, what'd you do last weekend? he said, everything's about the experience, or, hey, what do you got going on? And to me, that feels like super personal. Like to ask a stranger, like, hey, what did you do last weekend? Or, hey, what do you like to do for fun? That just sounds wrong, right? But he was like, basically, the conversation went along the lines of everybody here on this side of the country tends to be like, you find your identity in what you do and what you've grown in kind of like your career, as opposed to the West Coast, which is very much like, hey, the vibe, the experience, the outdoors. And so it's interesting that you brought your friend in from the West Coast, and two of the things you mentioned are Lake Milton and Mill Creek Park. It's very interesting. It just reminded me of that. Like, so I've tried to keep that in my mind to be like, okay, if somebody asked me, what did I do last weekend? Could I say something other than work? Sometimes I can't. Sometimes that is it, because it makes me feel better to get caught up on work. So that's like an enjoyable weekend. But, I've been trying to make it where I can actually say I did something non-work related. But it's definitely because of that conversation. Yeah. All right, Danny, your turn. You're up.
And we wanted to get loaded up on carbs before
nothing wrong with that.
before the tank. We loaded up on carbs.
Yes, you were all hyped.
It was Wednesday night.
That
when I
food
cooked
from
for
Mr.
him.
Anthony's wasn't bad
We
either.
passed right out at like 9:30.
There's so many good answers. There's so
Okay.
many good answers to this question, and I'll leave out some of them. That's fine. That's the joy of this. But one of the first places I would bring someone, and I'm excited to get back to, is actually going to my coffee place, Stone Fruit. And so I'm good friends with Josh and Hunter, the owners of Stone Fruit.
Okay.
Love going there to get my espresso in the morning. Luch goes and gets this hot chocolate. He
Aw.
gets every topping. So they ask, what toppings would you like? And he's like,
He's like,
all.
everything.
So now all the baristas know him. And Luch, even at 10 years old, is a budding entrepreneur. He sells his
Ooh.
services as a dishwasher to Stone Fruit for hot chocolate and a bagel with plain cream
Nice
cheese.
job.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I'm impressed.
my buddy Luciano's here with me today. Another place that I love to go to is the MVR. To be able to go there, go play bocce,
Oh, I
especially
was
for
going
those
to
that are
ask,
out
do you
of
play
town.
bocce?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I go around the country and play bocce.
Really?
They're
Yeah.
amazing at it.
Italians, man.
I
Is
know.
this bocce face too? You should see it.
It's
Have you been to, what is it, St. Anthony's Hall or something?
St.
They have
Anthony's, yeah.
they have that whole bocce court in the back too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
my
watched
next
it.
my next tournament is in Dallas, Texas. I'll be playing there. I've traveled around the country
Whoa.
now. Yep.
Do you win money?
I mean, if you play good enough.
Yeah.
I don't
Wow.
do it for the money though.
You just
Or
do
I'm
it
not
for
good enough for
He
the
does it
money.
for the clout.
He's like,
I do it because I can't stop
good.
trying to be the best at something.
Right. Yeah.
So this is a lot healthier right now.
wow.
love it.
That's
I love
incredible.
it.
Okay.
So MVR would be the second one, and then
Real quick,
I
can
would
I
say,
can I
yeah,
butt in one more time? I love butting in apparently, but what's your favorite thing to eat there?
at the MVR
What-
spicy bow ties black and chicken.
So good.
There's
I've
not a
had
se-
that.
there's not a
He's
Okay.
quick
second
with
place.
that. He's
Yeah,
quick
yeah,
with
yeah.
that.
I know.
All right,
Okay.
I'm making a
Sorry,
mental
go
note.
ahead. Third.
There's not a second place.
That's it. That's it.
It's not. And then I would say probably the last place that I would take someone to would be like the complex of Gia Russa and Summer Garden Manufacturing and Aquapazzo. And so what Tom has done there, just from everything from bringing business into our area, pretty special. Tom's one of my mentors, and then Aquapazzo's like a gorgeous place.
It's gorgeous.
Their
go
new
eat.
patio part, or it's not really new anymore, but
It's just stupid. It's so nice.
It's
like
so-
you walk in there and you're like, wait a minute, I'm
Am I in San
Boardman?
Francisco? Am I in
I'm in,
LA?
I'm in the
Right.
commercial part of Boardman. I'm not
Right.
even like in like
Yeah, right.
yes,
like
that's
it's 24. I'm
Right
like,
next to like the
Budweiser
Budweiser
plant.
thing. Yeah,
Yes.
Budweiser plant. You got the
it's like where I used to go buy a
that's a
keg.
good point.
So
you got the crazy water, right? Yeah. It's
So
crazy water.
is he? What generation is he?
Tom,
Yeah.
second generation. Second generation. Yeah.
So his parents started Julia Russa.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so cool because my sister lives in Pensacola, Florida, and that's the kind of sauce she waits till it goes on sale because at Publix it's like crazy expensive. But when it goes on sale, she
all in.
stocks up. Yeah.
Love
yep.
it.
Julia Russa. So, okay, that's awesome. Wow. Now you said there's part of the summer manufacturing.
Summer Garden Manufacturing, where they're bottling sauce for themselves, and then
Okay.
they also do it for other celebrity chefs and other businesses as well. So
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's big business there.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Sweet. Well, thank you guys. Is there anything else that you would like to add to the Youngstown area or Youngstown Click before we say goodnight?
Just,
Not really good night.
It's been such an honor, to be a part of this and win. Like, it's a huge win for the company. And I promise you'll be seeing a lot of bangers around. And visit bybanger.com, sign up. You'll be hearing from me, and we'll see if we can get you some nice party in your backyard.
Nice. I love it. Yes.
Something.
Yeah. Yep. www.
Bybanger.com.
BY Banger, BANGER.
Yep.
Okay. .com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
And for me, I would just say, like, for all those other budding entrepreneurs out there, you have an idea, whether it's just at its infancy or maybe you're a little bit further along and going through some prototypes, contact the YBI. Barb and her team are just great resources. And, we're just always looking for those at the YBI that have great ideas, and we'll help connect you to the right people to be able to keep moving along.
That's awesome. So when he says YBI, it's Youngstown Business Incubator. So if you Google that,
Yep.
or YBI,
YBI.org. Yep.
YBI.org.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
YBI.org.
That is amazing. And as far as your seafood, if they want to try it or whatever, what is there any?
Yeah, you can go to shop.legalseafoods.com. We are selling our seafood, everything from live lobsters, decadent lobster mac and cheese, organic salmon.
Oh, my.
And some of my favorite, American Wagyu beef. We have the same butcher
Oh, my
that
pastor
cuts for
loves
us
that
for
stuff.
Smith & Walensky is also cutting for us at Legal Seafood. So I did bring my beef expertise over there too.
Do you do like gift boxes and stuff?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Oh, okay. All right.
I love it. I already see a B2B event. It's
come on.
legal seafood, backyard banger, illegal time.
I love it.
The marketing guy.
That is great. Well, okay. Good. We got.
He remembered
we got
the
somebody
buttons
else on.
correctly. I did not.
I know, and he's like sitting there all chill. All right. Thank you guys both. And guys, seriously, you can pair up the Backyard Banger with your fire pit from Ohio Flame, our sponsor for this podcast, and have the perfect backyard no matter the season. Just enjoy. You could get them customized. So thank you to Ohio Flame for sponsoring this episode. And the Gallagher Building, downtown Youngstown, is the old Cedars Lounge. Many of you have probably been to concerts there or had a great time. They've redone the entire building. It's a perfect place for your friends and family that come to visit to get an Airbnb right in the heart of Youngstown. So thank you to them both for sponsoring. And once again, we are recording from Cigarro Cigar Lounge in Hubbard, Ohio. Make sure you come check it out for all the cigar lovers in your life. And until next time, we will talk to you later. Don't ever forget that you guys are the best part of what makes Youngstown Click. You guys are amazing, and thank you for listening. Woo-woo.